Now that each unit has been proven to be working correctly individually and ready to go, the next level would be to put those units together to build the system. This is what we call integration. At this stage, testers concentrate slowly on the integration itself. For example, if they are integrating module A with module B, they are interested in testing the communication between those modules, not the functionality of the individual module, as that was done already during component testing. Thus, the test basis for integration testing can include the software and system design, a diagram of the test architecture, workflows, and use cases. The test objects would essentially be the interface code between those modules. These can include subsystems database implementations. Before integration testing can be planned, an integration strategy is required. This involves making decisions on how the system will be put together prior to testing. There are two major types of integration: Big Bang integration and incremental integration. In Big Bang integration, we integrate a bunch of units together at once, resulting in a complete system. The problem with this kind of integration is that it looks like building the system faster, but in real life it's much slower and time-consuming, either because we would have to wait till we have a bunch of units ready to integrate, or for the fact that when testing of the system is conducted, it's difficult to isolate any errors found. We have an error caused when few units have been added, so which unit caused the error? It's hard to know. In incremental integration, we overcome the major issue of Big Bang integration by adding units for integration one by one. There are different kinds of incremental integration: top-down integration, bottom-up integration, and functional integration. To understand incremental integration, let's imagine we have a system where we have menus for students, employees, and teachers. And under student, there are add student functionality, and under employees there is add employee functionality and calculate salary, and under teacher there is add teacher functionality. Also at a deeper level under calculate salary there is the calculate bonus functionality. So component main calls component employee, and component employee calls component calculate salary, and component calculate salary calls component calculate bonus, and so on. Let's look at the different incremental integration approaches one by one. First, top-down integration. This is where the system is built in stages, starting with components at the top level, then going to lower levels, till we finish the whole system. In our example, the sequence of building the components will be as follows from top to bottom. Remember, when each component is built, it will go first through the component testing stage, so we assume that each component is working very well by itself at this point. So the order of integration will be 1 and 2, then 1 and 3, then 1 and 4, then 2 and 5, then 3 and 6, then 3 and 7, then 4 and 8, then last 7 and 9. If we assume the situation where we have just built component 7, top-down integration testing requires that all the interactions with component 7, calculate salary, are tested, but component 9 is not ready yet. Still we want to test the component 7. Then what we need to do here? Yes, correct. We will create a stub instead of component 9 calculate bonus. The second approach of incremental integration is bottom-up integration. This is the opposite of top-down integration, and the components are integrated in a bottom-up order. In our example, the sequence of building the components will be as follows from bottom to top: 9 and 7, then 2 and 5, then 6 and 3, then 7 and 3, then 8 and 4, then 2 and 1, then 3 and 1, and finally 4 and 1. If we again assume the situation where we have just built component 7, bottom-up integration testing requires that all the interactions with component 7 calculate salary are tested. But again, component 3 employee is not ready yet. Still, we want to test component 7. Again, what we should do here? Correct. Create a driver instead of component 3 employees. Functional integration is simpler. The sequence of creation will depend on building and finishing a full functionality before moving on to the next. In our example, this means that we finish the student's functionality first, then the whole employee functionality, then the teacher's functionality. Again, stubs and drivers may be used for testing. There may be more than one level of integration testing. For example, component integration testing focuses on the interactions between software components is done after component testing. This type of integration testing is usually carried out by developer. The second type of integration is system integration testing, which focuses on the interactions between different systems and may be done after system testing of each individual system. For example, a trading system in an investment bank will interact with the stock exchange to get the latest prices for its stocks and shares on the international market. This type of integration testing is usually carried out by testers. Ideally, testers should understand the architecture and influence integration planning. If integration tests are planned before components or systems are built, those components can be built in the order required for most efficient testing.